My ex-boyfriend told everybody that I broke up with him because he loved me. Nobody knows the truth yet. My ex-boyfriend told all his friends and family that the reason I broke up with him was because he loved me. But that wasn't the case whatsoever. Hi, I'm sorry if this story is messy. I'm not too good at organizing things, but I'll try my best. I'm British, so I apologize if some people don't understand the slang I use. I'll try to add a definition. So last year, I, 16, at the time, began dating this boy, also 16, gonna call him who I had liked for 3 years. The relationship started off fine. We started slow and got to know each other slowly. Nothing was weird until his best friend, I'm gonna call a who, was dating my best friend. Gonna call her Ha. This is important. Told me that the reason he started dating me was because of a dare. Told me that his friends dared who to message. Me asking me to hang out. Was furious and told I couldn't talk to who about it because A had swore not to tell me. I brought it up anyways because we had gotten into an argument 2 months into the relationship about lying. He accused me of being a liar, and I told him what I had said. He told me it was a lie, it wasn't a dare, and he really liked me. I didn't understand it much, but I ignored it because I was blindly in love with him and didn't want to ruin this relationship. Later that week, we had another argument because he had ignored my messages for hours on end. Who was supposed to come mine that evening to see me, but every message I sent, asking where are you and are you coming, got ignored. He messaged back at 11 p.m., apologizing and saying he was playing on a game on his phone. Making it 100% clear he had seen my message. Me, pissed off, messaged, asking why he couldn't just take 1 minute to reply to my message. His excuse was, I was too focused on the game. I told him we can talk about it tomorrow in person, because I prefer confrontations in person where he won't be able to just ignore me. He came around the next day and sat on my bed in silence. I asked him to talk and he ignored me. I began crying while he sat there, and 30 minutes later he asked to talk, asking why I was crying, and started telling me I'm being dramatic. Again, I just ignored the problem because I loved him. In September last year, just before my holiday, something had broken out about Ha and A. Turns out that A had done stuff to Ha in her sleep, and the texts of A admitting it were on her Snapchat story and her crying, talking about how it's affecting her. They broke up, and Ha messaged me, telling me to sort out who, and sent me a video. It was a video of a voice note sent from who, telling her to stop spreading lies about his best friend, and continues to call her multiple slurs and insults. I messaged him telling him to never talk to my best friend like this, especially while she's going through something. He replied saying, I'm just defending the innocent, and I argued back saying, I admitted to saying, Ha, this is the part I regret the most. I stayed. I went on holiday, and who would constantly message me about how much he hates Ha, so I messaged him, telling him to fuck off and let me enjoy my holiday, as I had just been to hospital the week before and needed a break. When I got back, a lot of mine and HU's conversations were mostly about how much he hated my best friend. I told him to stop bringing it up because, frankly, I don't care what he had to say. He yelled at me, telling me to stop defending someone who makes dangerous accusations and how it's affected A's life. I told him he should just mind his own business and stop hating on my best friend. He stopped then, in early October. When I finally started working and attending college, I was on the bus home from work on call with him. Said he might not be able to see me tonight because he hadn't eaten yet and needed to make food. I told him, as I usually do, that I could make him food at mine and we could spend more time together. He declined, saying he may as well not come to mine and there's no point in seeing me tonight in the rudest way possible. I ended the phone, and he asked why I did. I said to him, because if you're going to act like a cunt, I'm not putting up with it. He replied, saying that I took it the wrong way and I'm just being dramatic. Later that evening, I went to Ha's house where my other friend Kay was helping her dye her hair. I started explaining the situation, tears down my face as I was getting tired of his constant manipulation and ignorance of my emotions, and Kay told me she had been in that exact situation before, where her ex had manipulated her and put her feelings down as if they didn't matter. She also told me if I'm struggling to break up with him that I should just stay with him until I hate him. I took her advice into great account and I thank her to this day. Anyways, Later that month, he was going on a trip to London for the weekend. As normal, I had seen him from Monday to Thursday in the evenings before he went away on Friday. He was working on the weekend, and he had no Wi-Fi nor data down in London. So we barely messaged. On Sunday, the day he was coming back, I decided to invite my best friend over for a bit, as I hadn't seen her in a while. Messaged me at 8 p.m., 2 hours before his curfew, asking to come over. I asked him if I could see him the next day, as I was busy with Ha, and he said that he's not seen me for ages and he just wants to see me. I told him I could see him tomorrow when I'm free. An hour later, he messaged again, asking if Ha had left, and I said no, because he knows Ha usually leaves mine at 10. I told him again that I can see him tomorrow because I'm busy. 30 minutes later, he messaged asking if he could talk to me for 10 minutes. That's when I knew. My gut instantly told me that he was going to break up with me. I was panicking, knowing that this is what I wanted, but I was still attached to him, so it would hurt. He came to my door and told me that he'd prefer a girl who would drop everything for him. A girl that is fully devoted to him and is willing to spend time with him whenever and wherever she is. I told him that I'm not that kind of girl and I have friends. He broke up with me and asked for his hoodie. Later that day, me and Ha made cookies and used the gifts I bought for him for his boo basket that I was making him. The next day, at home, he messaged me begging for me back and telling me he can't live without me. I told him, stupidly in love, that we could try again. The next Monday, I asked him to come to this park with me to take photos of trees for my art project I was severely behind on due to being ill. He did, and at the end of it, he started talking to me about how I could change to make this relationship work. I turned around and said that I don't think this is going to work. He said I just used him and never loved him, and he walked off. I went to Ha's house, who was on the way home, so I went there. She was going out with Kay, so I joined them. When we got to the bus stop to meet Kay, my phone started getting spammed with messages. I don't remember them exactly, but this is what I recall. It started with "fuck good terms. I knew you never loved me. I told him to fuck off." He replied telling me that I'm neglectful and manipulative, and that he ruined his relationship with his parents for me. He also called me a scruff and told me I have nothing going for me in life, that I'll end up like Ha, a slag who accuses everyone of Sa. I told him to shut the fuck up, and other derogatory stuff was said, but I can't say it on here. I blocked him on messages and Snapchat and went about with my day. 2 days later, he messaged AGAIN, telling me that he's sorry. He regrets everything he's said, and he's in the wrong, that he'll do better if we get together again. I could not believe a word coming out of his mouth, but here I was, the stupidest I've ever been. I got back with him. After a few days after I did, I fell severely ill again. I spent 2 weeks at home, throwing up, resting, sleeping, and being unable to eat. It made me physically and emotionally drained. I barely moved and mostly slept the whole day. Who would ask to come mine every day, and I'd just tell him that I don't know if what I've got is contagious or not, so I don't want anyone coming over. Plus, he was scared to face my mother as I told her about what he said to me. So there was no point in him coming. He constantly pecked at me, saying I could just step outside to see him for a few minutes. But I could stand without fainting because of how starved I was. I soon got transmitted to hospital and diagnosed with a kidney infections. In hospital, I was mostly sleeping as I had barely gotten sleep because every 4 hours nurses would wake me up to put me on a drip and every 2 hours to take medication around the clock, so I was exhausted. At 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, I was trying to get sleep after the nurses had done my drip, who messaged me asking why I was being off, because I've not seen or messaged him in ages. I replied saying, severely ill, and I can barely get sleep, so I'm exhausted. He argued back, saying that I could at least message him for a bit, or even invite him to come visit me. I had no idea that he needed a personal invite to come see me because in September he made his own way to the hospital without me knowing perfectly fine. This was the moment he began to infuriate me. Those 2 weeks not seeing him, being unattached from him, made me realize how much of a dick he was. I messaged him saying, "You know what? This is working. I think we should break up for the better. I've realized what you said to me was disgusting, and the fact that you manipulated me and treated me like shit in the relationship was wrong. We're done," he replied, saying something I can barely remember. But I remember him saying that I never loved him. I told him to fuck off before blocking him on everything. Or at least ITH.